Google is facing a class action lawsuit right now because of the fact that they are collecting private information about us that we share openly in email, and they're giving it to third parties so advertisers can target ads based on what our interests are. Well, there are a number of people that are very upset about this, so that's why this class action lawsuit was filed. During the proceedings in mid-June, Google admitted in court documents that it is, in fact, looking into private information, and the reason why they do that is because you have no reasonable expectation of privacy when you're sending these emails out. In fact, according to the paper, indeed, a person has no legitimate expectation of privacy and information he voluntarily turns over to third parties.
Let's pause there for a second. So they're saying anytime you're involved in a third party, that you have no privacy whatsoever. Well, then what am I supposed to do? Walk my message over to Belgium? Right? I've got to, if I'm using a phone, that's also a third party. I'm handing it over to Verizon in a sense, my voice, and they get to collect that information, and by the way, also turn it over to the government, which is not involved in this case, but is implicit understanding that since you don't have an expectation of privacy, and I can use it for my own commercial interests, I could also turn it over to the government. So what the hell are we supposed to do? Start our own email system so that we can make sure we don't use any third party?
There was a fascinating example that Google gave, and Google gave the example of, you know, how when we send a letter to, let's say, a public official, that public official usually has an assistant that will go through the snail mail and determine what he or she will give that public official. But that's actually a really, really bad example, because in that scenario, Google would play the role of the post office, and the post office is not allowed to open the mail and read the mail. And in this case, Google is doing exactly that. So that's a bit of an issue. I mean, you should have, I mean, look, as naive as I was, I'm certainly not naive anymore, but I had a reasonable expectation of privacy. I did not believe that Google was not only going to read my emails, I had no idea that they were going to collect information from those emails, give it to another party so they can target ads toward me, or just willy-nilly give it to the government, as long as the government pays a hefty fine or price for it, by the way, with our taxpayer money.
Yeah, well, if we don't have that privacy at all, that opens up another can of worms. Can Google then say, well, I decided to look into your email for fun. I mean, I did it for profit, I did it for the government, apparently I can do it whenever I want. So I looked through your email and then I decided I'm going to publish some of it because I thought it was really funny. Oh, you were cheating on your wife. It's hilarious. Come on, everybody should see that. Now, do I think Google's going to do that? No. That would be incredibly stupid as a business decision. So my guess is that they will not head anywhere near that direction. But do you want to be able to give them that legal power to do so? And we just say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, it was a third party, I gave it to you, just look through all my emails. Look, Google carries this show through YouTube, make a lot of money from them, etc. So I got no beef with Google. Oh, they've been great to us, right? But you got to call things as they are, and the reality is this argument is way overreaching and is a very dangerous precedent if they win.
Absolutely, and it goes back to the argument that I keep mentioning over and over again. Some people might make the argument that this is not a big deal, that there's nothing to hide, and if you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't worry. But it goes back to intimidation. You will be intimidated by government officials if you plan to stir the pot, if you do plan on being part of some sort of protest or some sort of political activity, right? If you know that Google can hand this information over to public officials, to the government, then you're less likely to be politically active. You're less likely to want to stir the pot. We all have something embarrassing. It might not be something illegal, but it might be something that we said to a lover, something that a lover said to us, whatever it is, pictures that we've sent out. You don't want that information to be out there.
And so now I know that there are services coming out right now saying that they will not profit from your private information. They're sending up new forms of email, et cetera, and they will not turn it over to the government. Well, the problem is the government is basically shutting them down, like they did with LavaBit. They're saying, no, by law, you must give us all of your information on your customers and their private emails, otherwise we'll put you in jail. So LavaBit had to close down their entire email system because they said we don't want to give it over to the government because it violates our customers' privacy. So big corporations and the big power of the state, big government, have colluded to make it impossible not to invade our privacy. Even if there's a company who doesn't want to invade our privacy, they said, no, you're not allowed to. No, you must invade privacy.
Unbelievable.